Okay, we nearly ready to go?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Right, cool.
Okay, we're rolling.
Yeah, can you pass me over the glass or whatever?
Yeah, no worries. Oh, I love that new juice. It's awesome. One of the fake bottles of blood burst or something. This glass is covered in fucking shit.
Welcome to the GORECAST.
Okay, so hi and welcome to this week's GORECAST. I have recovered from having the absolute bejesus scared out of me. And why would you do such a terrible thing to me at the start of a show?
Well, because to be perfectly honest, A, it was fun. That's always going to be the principal one. And B, since this is show number 13, we said that we were going to do an entire Friday the 13th special.
Airing on this very special Monday the 13th.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of
The lesser known day of horror where Jason does his laundry.
That's Monday the 16th.
Monday the 16th.
Well, yeah, because Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th, Sunday the 15th.
I'm sure he takes an outing on Monday the 13th.
Possibly goes for a stroll in the woods. Anyway, for those of you unfamiliar, Friday the 13th is basically one of the biggest cult legend type slasher movies ever created.
It's like literally like this big.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's so big we kept forgetting films for it. But we'll get into that later.
There's oh so many.
Yeah. Originally started out basically to try and, well, there's no easy way to put it, cash in on the success of the Halloween film franchise.
Hey, them crazy kids like slasher movies. What's going on here?
Hey, let's do some more of this. So sure enough, Sean S. Cunningham decides, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's see what we can do and create another teen killing slasher movie to basically get teens sitting in seats. So he turned around to Victor Mills and went, make me a script, which was hilarious because I think the working title for it was something like Return to Camp Blood or something like that. But
there was Return to Camp Blood, and the original name for Jason was
Josh. Yeah,
Josh
Voorhees.
Josh Voorhees, the terrifying Josh.
But even that came later on because you see, here's the thing. They wanted to do a film. They wanted to do something that capitalized, as I said, on the success of the Halloween film and the kind of indestructible killer thing. So that was cool, and they had like their working title. They had fuck all in the way of backing, and they had.
It's true.
And they had no story.
It's also true. But you know what they did have? Was a bitchin' ass poster.
Well, no, they didn't. Not yet.
No?
No. What happened was, Sean S. Cunningham, he was like, I want it to be called Friday the 13th. Bad luck day, blah, blah. So he turned around to an advertising agency. Well, firstly, he wasn't sure whether or not anyone had used the name in a film. Sure. But he was fairly certain he was all right. But just to be sure, turned around to an advertising agency and kind of went, okay, do me up something cool that we can basically trademark and have as Friday the 13th and bah. Yep. So that's where you got the infamous, the big strong white letters and smashing through the glass. And that was basically, that was the Friday the 13th logo. So he then took this and used it to basically show people and show investors and get a bit of funding. So this is cool. He's now got his logo. He's got his funding. Awesome.
He actually put the poster in a paper saying that they were looking for funding.
Yeah.
And because it looked like it was already well under production, people were actually ringing him instead of him looking for people throwing cash at the project.
So, as I said, he had his poster, his advertising, his funding. All he needed now was a fucking story.
Oh, yes. What a story it was.
So, as we mentioned, originally Jason is named Joshua Voorhees, but they ended up changing that.
Thank God.
For those of you unfamiliar with the Friday the 13th, basically the basic principle is you're a teenager, you don't want to go anywhere near Camp Crystal Lake, you don't want to go anywhere near Crystal Lake itself, you certainly don't want to have sex or have any form of fun at there, because
if you've got a bit that you can hook up with,
don't go to Camp Crystal Lake.
Don't go to Camp Crystal Lake, or any of the surrounding lake in general.
No. Because if Mama Voorhees doesn't get you, like in the first film, then her resurrected, now undead, unstoppable killing machine son certainly will. And that's basically the progression of the films for 11 films.
They've stuck true to the killing ethic of him. Well, Jason in Manhattan.
They change things up, but the base principle is always the same.
He changes location occasionally, but his methodology behind everything doesn't.
And once or twice, it's not actually Jason. As I said, in the first film, it's his mother, and in the fourth film, fifth
not the fourth film, it's the fifth film.
Fifth film, it's something
A New
else.
Beginning.
Yeah, but the Friday the 13th movies, they really set the stage when it came to how slasher movies would be approached from that point on. Now, while you also, as I said,
the Halloween franchise would be the two founding blocks of it, nearly.
Yeah, but where Halloween kind of had a progression.
Last House on the Left was out before as well, I think, and that kind of started a bit of the slasher vibe.
Yeah, but
a whole different category.
Yeah,
of
not
slasher.
the trend.
Yeah.
You see, this is my point. While Halloween might have had Mike Myers tracking down particular specific people, Jason, it's just a case of, oh, you're a dumbass that wandered into my woods. Your ass is mine.
Yeah, nobody messes with the big dog.
And more importantly, it set the notion that teenagers going out into the woods to have a good time make very, 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 very easy prey. And more importantly, make very good victims when it comes to a film that you want to get teenagers in to watch. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, that's exactly what this film is about. As we mentioned in previous GORECAST,
it's about getting teenagers in seats, and the girl you're in the cinema with has a scare, and she's giving you an old, I'm not doing a tune or you punch me in the head.
Well, I was going to say the fact that, as we've already stated, sex and violence, what works better? Mm-hmm. Hey, kids have sex, something violent happens to them.
Yeah.
Usually gore-filled. Now, as I said, the first film was a success, an unexpected success, but a success nonetheless. Critics panned it, and in fact, it would only be later on, once cult status had been achieved, that they'd kind of go back and go, you know what, it wasn't that bad. Meanwhile, everyone that's been watching the films are going, gee, really? You don't fucking say it. That would explain why we decided to do a whole slew more of them. Okay, yes,
slew is an understatement, I think.
Yeah, I admit.
Strong.
The plot never really fucking changes. To the point that I'm actually fairly certain that a couple of kills got reused once or twice. Definitely a couple of scenes. Not so much.
A couple of actors got reused. We think.
I think so. Yeah, but like, there's two or three of them, and you're watching. It's kind of like, okay, yes, they're different actors, but I've seen this exact scene happen. I think in one of the, and as I said,
well, he's a genius, but there's only so inventive you can get with killing people when it's...
It's not about the killing people, it's about the scenarios the people are in.
Yeah.
We'll get into...
There's a lot of fucking...
Yeah, we'll get into more of the progression of the scenarios, the progression of Jason, the progression of the films later on. But suffice to say, for now, these films were so, quite frankly, inspirational. Not only did we have things like books, comics, music... Jesus Christ, yeah. Ari Lehman, the guy who played Jason Voorhees, the kid in the first film.
Baby Jason.
Yeah. Has a band called...
Teenage Jason.
Yeah. Has a band called First Jason, and we will actually be talking to him later in the show.
Yeah, he'll be up after this segment.
Is it? Oh, I thought we were... Okay, so we'll be talking to him after this segment. Haha. But as I said, it's not just him. There are other bands that have taken influence. There are other writers. There are other filmmakers. You can't watch a film about kids going camping in the woods without thinking of one of two other films. Either A, The Evil Dead, which we covered before, or B, Friday the 13th, wherein they go off to have a good time, and, well, a good time is only had by one person, and that's the killing machine that's decided, you know what?
This is true, because Michael Myers was more of a suburbanite kind of guy.
He was, he was. And as I said, he had a specific target.
Other people were just cannon fodder by association, whereas Jason was pretty much...
It's all...
Now, he does... Like, in Friday the 13th 3, as we were discussing earlier, the girl and her friends that come up to the cabin, she's been attacked by Jason previous to being at the cabin. Now, it's not a cabin on Camp Crystal. It is a cabin on Crystal Lake. It's not. It's more of a house than a cabin.
Are you sure?
Yeah, she has flashbacks when she's talking to Dirk or whatever his name is, her love interest.
No.
There's flashbacks.
That's a dream she remembers. They've done that a couple of times where characters have had almost prophetic dreams.
But she hasn't come back to the place for 2 years over it.
She's talking about a dream. She's discussing
something
else.
It's a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Okay, that leads into something interesting about Jason I'd like to talk about.
She's discussing a dream. She said, as I said, like in the first one, Alice has kind of a prophetic vision, a dream of...
baby Jason?
Well, no, she's describing a scene, and I remember it ends with blood, raining blood, which I remember making a joke of, cue the Slayer song. Now I shall live blood!
Yes.
So yeah, that's what that was. It wasn't she. I don't think she'd been up in the cabin before so much as
Well, it's her parents' cabin or something.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
She'd never encountered Jason. I don't think it was a dream about something else.
Okay.
As far as I know,
Okay.
fairly certain. But anyway, that's that specific film. The inspiration drawn from the Friday the 13th movies is it's never going away, to be perfectly honest. We're talking about a franchise that started in 1980. That is 37, fuck me, years ago.
Yeah.
And the latest...
We're disgustingly old.
The latest incarnation, I admit, was they decided to reboot things by basically mashing a bunch of stuff from the other films together.
It's like 1 through 6 all no wait, which one's where he goes to Manhattan? 8. Yeah, no, it's like 1 through 6 all slammed together while leaving out the ill-begotten Corey film in 5.
4
But no, he's in 4, but you know what I mean about his tie into 5
and 6.
Was he in 6 as well?
Same character. Different
Okay.
actor. He becomes obsessed. We'll get into that later on.
Yeah, okay. Well, 1 through 4 anyway is pretty much all mishmashed all into the one 2009 remake.
The point is, I sat down and I watched the 2009 remake, admittedly not recently, and I remember Sweet Smegall from it, so that should... I'm sorry, but that should pretty much tell you everything you need to know. Whereas the other films, I'm if you want to go over the remake, fair enough, but I'm just going to stick to the hardcore...
When we get to the surprise that we have for them in section 3,
okay.
it'll get its minute and a half.
What's interesting is Friday the 13th...
It won't be a good minute and a half for them, but it'll be a minute and a half.
Yeah. What's interesting is Friday the 13th is one of those... it's one of those... It's probably the only franchise whereby something was done in a film, the franchise was continued, and then a couple of years later someone went, hold on a second, let's go back and revisit what we did at the end of that movie. And so we got another film.
Yeah.
I'll discuss all of that and explain exactly what I'm talking about later on, because as I said, I plan on covering the canon, the actual stuff, the stuff that actually happened to Jason.
Nice.
As opposed to the remake.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm not doing... I don't want... As I said, section 3, the remake will get its minute and a half. Ish. It might be a 60-second barrage of abuse, but it'll be...
Abuse! To sum things up, for a film that started off as a no bones about it, quick fucking money grabbing cash cow, it swiftly spiraled into a cult phenom that is going to last another 30 years. I wouldn't be surprised.
So there's a new one coming out this year, or early 2018.
Yeah, but that's not... I think they're starting to reboot all over again.
It's a new... They're doing it kind of found footagey, so it's still Jason.
No, that was one of the ideas. They were still humming and hawing about ideas.
I've heard that... Okay, well, that's okay.
The notion of found footage... The notion of the found footage was at one point they were thinking about doing something regarding his family, his upbringing, and that was going to be found footage, and every single fan went, fuck no!
No,
because
what I heard was there's supposed
idea.
to be people going to Camp Crystal Lake, but it's modern time. So they're all fucking videotaping themselves.
That was the same rumour that was going around since the 2009 remake.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it could translate into a found footage style I'd like to see it in a found footage style. I won't put my eggs all in one basket, but I do think...
I'm actually fairly certain that someone's done basically I don't want to say a fan-made film, but I'm fairly certain, once again, the amount of inspiration, the amount of people that decide to do films that you can turn around and go, yeah, you watch Friday the 13th, I'm fairly certain someone has done a found footage that is... barring a hockey mask.
I would like to see
rip-off.
a found footage style Friday the 13th, but like at the same level of... Have you seen Exists or It Exists? I think. The one about the Bigfoot.
I didn't watch it.
It's so disgracefully well done. It's unbelievable. But if it was done that well, because Jason, not unlike Bigfoot, I know he's got slightly more dark mystical powers about him to a certain extent.
As it progresses, yeah.
As it progresses, but I know they sound different, but your man's a big... They're terrifying for the same sort of reasons, do you know what I mean? Because they're just so big and powerful. And yeah, you know, they're literally... Nature. Yeah, you don't see them. You don't need to see them to know they're there. You can feel it.
Do you want to know why I think a found footage thing would be a terrible idea?
Do you know what? I would love to know why you think it'd be a terrible idea.
Because in found footage stuff, one of the main things that happens 99.9% of the time is we never fucking see the guy that's supposed to be doing all the fucking killing. I came here to watch Jason.
Yes, but I feel like because it's Jason and they don't need to keep this air of mystery about them, and for some reason found footage always seems to be an excuse to cover up the fact that we don't have the budget to do the monster that we really want to do.
I can count on my hand the amount of found footage films that I think are actually worth a fucking watch. 3 of them are from the same series. 4 of them, in fact. Sorry.
I knew where you were going.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
we just need to. Anyway, back on to the history of Friday the 13th with my brief interlude there.
Yeah. As I said, the popularity of the series is... I'm not going to say it's unprecedented because we've seen other things just as popular. However, these things get lumped in together. So much so that, well, 3 of them got put into a comic book, which was awesome.
Yes.
Which would later...
This is also one of the rare occasions where you were able to talk about comic books and I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Now, Friday the 13th has actually had maybe... It's been done by 3 or 4 different publishing houses who would have all had their own take on things. Most notably, Avatar did maybe 3 or 4 different, let's call them story arcs, you know. I know for a fact that there was actually 2 done after Jason X, which gave 2 completely different after stories.
No way.
One of the comics was an epic crossover, which was done, mentioned in a film, then done in comic book form, then kind of shelved, then brought back, then actually done as a film. Except missing one of the characters. Actually, when it was done as a comic book, it was a sequel to the film that they decided to do.
Okay, yes.
Once again, I'll cover all this.
That's why my finger was like...
Yeah.
You got in there.
3 characters get thrown into one awesome mashup story to carry on after 2 of them got hooked together. With that in mind, I think that, more or less covers the cult following that is Friday the 13th, from its humble beginnings as a cash-hungry whore looking to...
I don't like it being called a cash-hungry whore. There was a certain level of, I want to see this happen, not for my bank account.
There was, and there always is, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Actually, funnily enough, there's now more of that level because of the popularity of the character. Where once upon a time, you could look at something and kind of go, oh, they're doing that just to make a bit of money. They're looking at it kind of going, no, they're doing that because they love Jason and want to see another fucking film with him in it.
He is one of the...
iconic killing machines.
Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers are the 3 kind of real
80s iconic killers.
80s horror killers.
They set the stage for pretty much
if you weren't killed by one of the 3 of them during the 80s,
then you weren't really killed.
You weren't really killed. You weren't
and
nobody.
let me just say, between the 3 of them, if you go back and look, they killed the cream of the acting crop.
Yeah.
A lot of people started off in their films. Kevin Bacon got
whooshed by Jason Voorhees.
Actually, technically, he got whooshed by his mother.
Yes, okay, it's true. But he got taken out with the Voorhees family. Jamie Lee Curtis constantly stalked down by Michael Myers, / eventually getting killed by Michael Myers, although you're never really sure if she gets killed.
And McFly gets whacked a couple of times.
It's Mr. McFly, because it's the other one. Yeah,
George.
he gets George McFly. He gets whacked in Friday the 13th 4.
And I think he's back again in 6, so I'll do a bit of research.
Out of the biggest names to get wallop bagged in horror, there is Johnny Depp, who got demolished in Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street 1. He's the guy with the hand through the bed.
Yeah.
Who else? There was a couple of other seriously famous heads.
There is. Unfortunately, most of them are... When it comes to Friday the 13th, most of them would go on to...
Mrs. Voorhees in her own right, a pretty famous head. Betsy Palmer was a power horse on television and theatre for many years before Friday the 13th.
In fact, when she took the job, it was kind of a case of she only did it because she needed a car. But
yeah, she actually thought it was a heap of BS.
Crap.
And then it was after she saw it on the big screen, she really appreciated it for the actual cinematic delight that it was.
Probably more appreciated as in, oh my God, they actually like this. Okay, fair enough.
Oh my God, this translates into celluloid much better than I saw it on paper.
Yeah.
I can see how on paper you'd be a little bit like, right? And then the kid does what at the end? Dead kid?
No. That was something that Tom Savini convinced him to do at the end.
What, the flashback?
The jumping out at the lake?
Oh, yeah. But the flashback was happening anyway.
I think so.
Yeah, the flashback to the lake wasn't...
that's not a flashback.
She has
prophetic dreams.
Yes, okay, whatever. Sorry, flashback, whatever. Dream sequence. What ifs? Where there's a reverse dream sequence of that dream sequence in number 4. 4.
Which was supposed to be a different ending as well, but they chopped together.
Yeah.
They've done that a couple of times.
It's actually a literal carbon copy of the first dream sequence, except it's Mama Voorhees pops out of the water instead of baby Jason.
Yeah. Plus she was
Cool. Which leads me to believe, because we only have like a minute or two left that we can talk here, it leads me, it's kind of like there's a bit of a supernatural psychic connection. Because there's a lot of...
That's something that's played up later on in the films.
Yeah. But
Plus,
it's literally played up in one of them.
Plus, one of the original notions, as I said, the reason it's called Friday the 13th is it's just a bad luck day. You know, the misfortune, this bad crap keeps happening.
It's true.
Which I think is a fairly running theme throughout the entire thing. Bad crap being, don't go to the lake.
No, the lake is bad.
Yeah.
Sex at the lake especially is bad.
Well, it's usually good. It's the killing afterwards that's bad.
Yeah, the sex, actually, I'll give them credit. They do seem to have nice sex. They all seem thoroughly fulfilled by the end of it anyway.
Let me just say,
you can have another minute or two. We can extend it a little bit.
I was just about to say, let me just say, I always approve of the casting choices when it comes to the female roles.
Yes, and I also appreciate the fact that how well made Hot Pants were during Friday the 13th too. Redonkulous.
You're one that owns the dog that goes for the swing.
Yeah, they were kind of the prelude to the kind of the scream queen you see today, because these ladies couldn't defend themselves for the life of them, really. Cannon fodder.
To be honest, I think the prelude for the scream queens you see today would be Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, because she actually gives a good bit of shtick.
Actually, to be fair, the heroines, the ones that stand up and fight. You're one in number 4. She did some serious damage.
Oh yeah, machete in the head.
Machete through the hand.
Machete through the hand. Machete in the shoulder. Axe in the head. Hung him out the barn door. Or wait, no, is that 3? That's 3. Sorry, That's 3.
When they fight back, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's true.
And I imagine, I might be projecting, but I imagine that probably gets Jason's juices really flowing.
Well, if you do notice, they're the ones that you'll actually see him kind of go and kind of stick after them for a while. Like he tracked down poor old Adriana from number 1.
Yeah, but
that's his mother's head in through her kitchen window. And
but that was a vengeance thing.
Yeah, true, but he stalked her down.
That's true.
You know, he'll occasionally get out of the lake, get out of his comfort zone, get some killing done elsewhere.
Like in Manhattan.
Or in space.
Which we will get back to later on.
Not long, about a minute and a half. It won't be good. But it'll happen.
We're going to be doing the Arya interview first, aren't we?
We're going to be doing the Arya interview first.
Yeah.
No, I was saying Jason in Space, not on the remake in 2009. It mightn't be a happy...
Screw you. Jason in Space is awesome.
There's cheesiness of fantastic proportions in it, but as an overall, it's absolutely no sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree. So on that, we're going to cut away to a trailer from our sponsor at American Horrors, Hart D. Fisher's American Horrors. Do the line. It's your turn. I did the line last episode. All horror. All the time. 7 days a week. I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Neither can I,
it's
unfortunately.
Okay. But that's why we made an advert. A bitchin' advert. It had a smoke machine and everything. Click it.
Lads, I'm so fucking bored.
Weird. I don't remember turning the TV on.
Welcome to the new American Horrors channel on Roku. Streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all night, all day, all horror. Hi, I'm Hart D. Fisher. As owner and operator of the world's greatest uncut 24 hours a day, 7 days a week horror channel, American Horrors, it's my job to let you know that I'm choking to death on this smoke. Okay, we're still rolling, right?